All right, everyone, good afternoon. I hope everyone has had a great morning, and I'm sure everyone is excited for today's second live streaming session. How many of you today who have been attending this live streaming session are excited for today's session? Let me know in the comment box. All right. So, let me know which cities you belong to. How is your morning going on? How excited are you for today's session? And how many are excited for the upcoming festive season of Christmas? Right? Let me know your comments down. I would love to know your opinions. All right, so let's get started with today's second live streaming session with the most important aspect, which is going to be my introduction. So, I am Harsh. I have 8 years of trading experience. I have been trading the financial markets, particularly in the forex markets, in the commodity markets like oil, gold, silver, as well as the US based indices. We have like the S&P 500, the Dow Jones 30, and the Nasdaq 100. Currently, we are also looking into the Indian share market where we are analyzing the blue chip indices such as Nifty and Sensex, as well as analyzing the individual Indian stocks for trading recommendations. Correct. So I am a technical trader. I specialize in technical analysis, right? Such as supply demand, price action, order flow analysis, swing analysis, wave analysis, and Fibonacci retracement analysis. So these are the six major categories in terms of technical analysis that I specialize in. I have been blessed to be trained and to be mentored by some of the brightest minds when it comes to the financial markets under the guidance of people who used to work as flow traders on the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. I have been grateful enough in terms of gaining experience and valuable expertise. I've also been successful in handling $25 million worth of portfolio and have also been successful in generating 30 to 35% profitability on an annual basis. The reason for me to share all these information with you is so that you can be rest assured that the information that is being provided by Harsh to you is being provided by someone who has the knowledge, who has the experience, as well as the expertise when it comes to the financial markets. So, how many of you are excited for today's second live streaming session? Let me know your comments in the chat box below. And here we at Dolphin Markets are going to make sure to provide you with valuable content, correct? Content in terms of providing you with hot stock recommendations. How many of you are coming to these live streaming sessions with the main goal of making money in the financial markets? If yes, let me know in the chat box below. So people are saying, yes, we want to make money, we want to make good profits. That is good, correct? And that is exactly what I, Harsh from Dolphin Markets, will be providing to you, right? All the way from the last 3 months, starting from mid of September, we have been providing our community members with consistent and regular hot stock recommendations that have been consistently generating us good amount of profits, correct? So we have been doing quite phenomenally well, and to everyone who is watching this live streaming session, I want to show you that yes, it is possible to make money in the markets. How many of you think it is possible to make money in the markets? Let me know in the comment box below. Yes, Harsh, it is possible to make money in the markets. Yes, Harsh, it is not possible to make So you have to understand that first and foremost, our main objective is to provide you with valuable content, right? First and foremost is in terms of making money. So we have been showcasing over the last 3 months that consistently hot stock recommendations and consistent profit booking has been taking place in the last 3 months. We have been currently sitting at an overall a cumulative profitability of 237%, right? With 38 trades that have been taken over the span of 3 months. So that comes to around 12 to 13 trades taken on a monthly basis. Isn't that wonderful, correct? We are not basing our trade ideas and strategies based on high risk parameters. We believe in risk management, we believe in being conservative but being consistent, and we have been doing quite phenomenally well when it comes to attaining a very staggering and a very fabulous profitability ratio percentage of 237. How many of you who are attending this live streaming session would love to make these kind of returns? If yes, let me know in the chat box what you think about it. Yes, Harsh, it would be fantastic to make these kind of returns. And this is what I'm trying to showcase you, that it is possible to make these kind of returns. First and foremost, it is possible to make money in the markets. And second, but most importantly, it is possible to make money in the markets consistently, right? How many of you are understanding what I'm saying? If you do understand, let me know in the chat box below. So over the span, just based in the month of December, we are currently sitting at 41% profitability, right? That is also very great profitability just based on the month itself. Remember, today is 23rd of December. We still have around 10 days to go ahead, and we are currently sitting at 41%. For those of you who have been following our live stream sessions and who have been taking action, you yourself know the power that Harsh from Dolphin Markets is being able to provide to you, correct? And if you can make profits, so can everyone else. So make sure to be a part of all our live streaming sessions. And most importantly, whenever I do provide you with the hot stock recommendations, right? Like most recently, the hot stock recommendation that had generated us with a 5% profitability had happened on 19th of December, right? 19th is last week's Thursday. So we are not talking about past data. We are talking about most recent data, right? Last week Thursday is just a couple of days back, and we had been able to achieve 5% on one of our hot stock recommendations that was provided on IP rings. On the other hand, we had also provided with another hot stock recommendation on Hindware AP, correct? That too had been able to generate a 5% profitability percentage, and the trade was closed on 16, which is also the last week. So just based on the last week, we have been sitting at a cumulative profitability of 10%. How many of you would love to make these kind of returns on a weekly basis? If yes, let me know in the chat box of what you think. Is it possible to make money? We have been showing you that it is possible. It is only a matter of time that our profitability percentages are going to increase significantly. All right. I hope everyone is understanding. I hope you're getting a very clear picture of what our objective is in terms of providing to our community members. But please bear in mind that it is only going to be in the month of December that we are keeping our stream sessions, our live stream sessions available to everyone and anyone who wants to be a part of Dolphin Markets, right? I know many of you are newcomers who are still trying to understand what Dolphin Markets is providing, what Harsh is providing. So we are still giving you time in terms of doing your due diligence and letting yourself understand what is the entire structure and objective of Harsh's live streaming sessions from Dolphin Markets. But please be aware that these live streaming sessions will be provided to all our community members only for this month. Moving next month forward, we will be shifting from the live streaming session, from the public live streaming sessions to the private live streaming sessions, where our main focus is going to be on VIP customers, correct? How many of you understand what VIP customers are? Let me know in the chat box below. So VIP customers are those customers who are willing to be a part of Dolphin Markets, who are willing to subscribe to Harsha's live streaming sessions, and who are willing to take trades on their brokerage accounts, and who are ready to make profits. How many of you would want to be VIP customers? Let me know in the chat box. If you want to be, let me know in the chat box below. We have been doing quite phenomenal, right? Just based on last week, we have been able to achieve a cumulative profitability of 10. All our trades that are being shared on a real time basis, right? This is very, very, very important to understand. Unlike our competitors out there in the market who are just based on opening accounts and providing you with a service, we want to provide you with much more value, right? Not just in terms of our services that also we provide, but also in terms of hot stock recommendation. How many of you would love to make profits? I'm sure everyone would love to make profits, correct? And that is exactly what we are providing you. We are providing you with 5 live streaming sessions throughout the week. Each day, we are providing you with 3 live streaming sessions, right? So for all the days of the week, from Monday till Friday, each day, Harsh is going to make sure to provide you with 3 live streaming sessions. And during those live streaming sessions, when the live streaming sessions are taking place during the stock market opening or during the stock market hours, I will analyze the markets, we will go through the markets, we will look for possible opportunities, and once I come across a hot stock recommendation, right, money making strategy, I will definitely make sure to provide you with all the parameters, right? The third session that takes place outside the stock market hours, that is where we shift our focus from the stock market to the education content, right? Because it's very important to learn as well. We are providing you with earning opportunities, but we also want to provide you with learning opportunities, correct? How many of you would like to earn and would like to learn simultaneously? If yes, let me know in the chat box below. So we have been doing very, very, very phenomenal, and we have been also being very transparent with our trades that have been running. We have been provided certain trades that are currently running and trades that have been closed. So for the trades that have been closed are on your screen, and we are doing quite phenomenal. Having said that, we also have certain trades that are running based on trade recommendations that were provided, and we will let you know in terms of any advancements, whether in terms of adding trades or hedging, any kind of instruction that is needed to be provided to you, I will make sure to provide, right? So how many of you are excited for today's second live streaming session? I hope everyone who is in the live streaming session is ready and is thoroughly excited and is not, is being impatient for me to start with what the markets are showing, how the markets are behaving. But make sure to attend all my live streaming sessions, and once a hot stock is being provided, whenever that takes place, just make sure to keep your trading account open so that you can just copy paste the parameters, right? Whenever a hot stock is being provided by Harsh to you, we I would be making sure to provide you with all the necessary parameters that are required to make you good amount of profits, right? I will be providing you with the name of the stock, with the entry parameter, with the 5% parameter, as well as the position size, right? All the parameters that are required are being provided to you. All you have to do is just take the trades, replicate the trades on your platforms so that you can be making the same kind of profits that we have been sharing on a consistent basis based on real time data analysis, right? So how many of you would like to make these kind of returns? If yes, please make sure to write down in the chat box so that I can be aware and I can gauge how many people are interested for today's live streaming sessions. All right. So moving forward, we would be looking in terms of our hot stock recommendations, how stocks have been performing, with the majority of the stocks that are currently going sideways as of now. We had talked about all the hot stocks, and currently for the market as of now, the market is based on a bullish sentiment as of today, right? So quickly, let me just showcase all our viewers what is the current sentiment in the market, right? So as you can see, based on the last hour, we can see that the markets have been bullish, correct? So just based on the Nifty, we are seeing that 44 stocks have been trading higher, right? So just six stocks have been underperforming while 44 stocks have been overperforming. So that is a very good sign of bullish sentiment in the markets as of today, as of Monday morning. All right. So the gains were mainly led by the steel, JSW Steel, followed by Trent, ITC, Tech Mahindra, Hindalco, right? And some of the companies which are going in losses, one of them is based on TCS, followed by Hero Motocorp, Power Grid, Bajaj Auto, and Maruti Suzuki. So you have to understand that the sectors are most or almost all of the sectors are in green, with the metal, real estate and oil indices which are gaining the most claim, right? Almost up by 1.45, 1.45 and 1.8% respectively, right? So that is very good in terms of optimism in the markets. You have to understand that the reason for the spurge of bullish sentiment in the metal sector has been basically were because of the report on after the Directorate of General of Trade Remedies, who took a note of the steel industry's request for a 25% safeguard duty on imports and launch an investigation. So this is a good sign for us in terms of the report, and because of this initiative that has been taken, there has been a strong bullish sentiment in the metal sector, right? People have to understand that in terms of the reason for today's bullish movement has also been based on, one of the reason has been definitely being based on the Directorate General of Trade Remedies, right? As we had discussed. But the other reason has been because of the inflation rate that is being expected to be reduced, right? So the US core inflation rate has been expected to slow down, and that is the reason there has been strong amount of bullish sentiment in the market, right? Now moving to that has been the overall movement of the indices. Remember, as I was mentioning, all or most of the Nifty indices have been in the green in terms of have been advancing or overperforming based on their respective indices. But when you talk about market sentiment, there still is an overall bias when it comes to the market sentiment. Just 20% of the people who are 20% of investors are having a bullish sentiment. 37% of them are being neutral, whether to go long, whether to take short. There is no decision as of yet, and a whooping 43% of the investors are still having bearish sentiment. How many of you know why the bearish sentiment in the Indian economy still persists? If you know why there is still bearish presence in the economy, let me know in the chat box. I would love to know your answers. So the reason why there is still bearish sentiment in the markets are mainly because of the FII. The FII, which is the foreign investment institutions, are still pulling out funds from the Indian economy, right? just based on the last 5 days data, right? So last week's Monday to Friday, we have been seeing that the FIIs are still net negative, right? So there is a good amount of outflow of foreign investments from the Indian economy into economies of other countries, right? So we are currently sitting at a deficit of negative 3597 with the DII, the domestic institution investors, um, influxing the Indian economy with a positive, value of 1,374 crores. So net, we are still being very bearish or very skeptic when it comes to the FIIs. Overall, the FIIs are still pulling out funds from the Indian economy, and that is why, even though the sectors or the indices are doing quite phenomenal as of today, the overall sentiment in the market still remains bearish. I hope everyone is understanding. If you have any doubts, any questions, please make sure to let me know in the comment box, correct? So overall sentiment has still been bearish. All right, everyone who is understanding, that is good to go. Moving forward, for those of you who are aware that we are also into international markets, remember Dolphin Markets is a forex service provider, right? We provide you with forex brokerage services. Currently we are entering into the Indian market, so we are showing you the performance and our performance in terms of trading profitability in the Indian share market, right? And we have been quite phenomenal when it comes to such returns. But since we eventually are a forex brokerage company who has already been established in more than 8 countries across the globe, we want to let you know that if we can provide you with such great profitability percentages in the Indian share market where we have just entered, you can be rest assured that we can provide you with much more better returns in the international markets, correct? In the forex, gold, and CFD markets. So, for those of you who do not want to miss the opportunity of making money in the Indian share market as well as the international markets, make sure to subscribe to Harsh's live streaming channel. Make sure to open your accounts with Dolphin Markets. Does that sound good? How many of you are excited to open accounts with Dolphin Markets? Let me know in the comment box below. Look at this. In terms of Monday being 23rd, there is only one important news event that is expected, but that is for the Canadian dollar. So overall, we do not have any kind of heavy impact or a news event that can rattle the markets, right? But moving forward, I'm pretty sure every one of you are aware that we would be having Christmas Eve tomorrow and Christmas day after tomorrow, right? So 2 days, make sure the markets are going to be short on liquidity with almost all the countries observing Christmas, including India, right? So even in India, one second, let me just show it to you. Even in India, we have been showing you that there are holidays mentioned across the globe for New Year, for Christmas, right? And few countries would be even having holidays based on Christmas Eve. With the holidays coming in the next couple of days, including in India, we would be noticing that the markets are going to be closed on Christmas. So just be aware that yes, there is a festive season coming in and the markets will be closed. Now let's get back to the charts and let's quickly have a look in terms of what the hot stocks that we had provided to you are performing and how any advances or declines have been taking place in our portfolio, correct? So moving forward, as you can see, we are going to start with KRITI Industries. How many of you who are attending this live stream session have taken trades on KRITI Industries? Let me know in the chat box how many of you have taken trades on this particular stock. People are saying, yes, Harsh, we have trades running on KRITI. So that is good, right? So you do not have to worry. I remember Sophia had attended our live stream session for the first live stream session. and she was inquiring whether we could add another position, right? And I just want to make sure to let everyone know that if I do need to provide you with an additional entry, I will definitely make sure to provide you, right? So you do not have to worry. Like I say to all my viewers and to all my listeners and clients, when Harsh is here, there is nothing to fear, right? So just based on critical industries, the prices are more or less oscillating between a very important key support area, right? And between key resistance areas. So we are currently seeing a correction that is being taking place. But since prices have come into a very strong key support area, which is around the 159, 158 to 159 price level, we would be seeing the prices to appreciate in value, right? This is just based on the 4 hours. We can even see that from the moving average perspective, the prices are below the moving average, right? How many people understand what is the sentiment if prices are below the moving average? So correct, the sentiment still stays bearish, but it is not just about price being below or above the moving average. You also have to look at the context of what is the trend, how is the price behaving. We had talked in detail in the first session, but let me repeat it to you as well. Since there was a very strong and intense bearish sentiment, right? We are talking from the span of 18th of September. So all the way from 18th of September till the next couple of months, right? Let me just show it to you. The prices had more or less, right, over a span of almost 61 days, there had been strong bearish pressure coming in. But as of now, the intensity has reduced. So we are seeing that the market has shifted from a bearish sentiment to a neutral sentiment, right, where prices are more or less going in a sideways trajectory, correct? How many of you agree with me? Let me know in the chat box. So even with the coming days, we would be seeing the prices to appreciate back in value. And if any necessary action has to be taken, we will let you know, right? So we had provided you with an entry between 170 and 175. The prices are more or less slightly below our entry. And any updates moving forward, I will let you know. But for those who have taken, rest assured the prices are into a very strong area of support, a very strong key support area, right? Between the 158 and 159, and the prices are bouncing over there as of now. Remember, overall, the indices have still been bearish, right? With the news events, with the optimism in the markets, with the advent of core US inflation data being dampened, but overall still the FIIs are still being bearish or having a skeptic sentiment in terms of pulling out funds from the economy and investing it into other world economies where they are getting better returns. So that is the reason, even though the markets have been on a bullish sentiment as of today morning, the overall sentiment based on the month, right, in terms of market sentiment has still been bearish. I hope everyone is understanding. Any doubts, any questions, you can always write down in the chat box, correct? So looking at Annapurna, we had provided you with a hot stock recommendation on this around the 380 and 395 area, correct? So just based on the values that are mentioned, 380, 395. So more or less we are looking at prices where we had provided you with entries, right? Since the markets are still in a new, remember the markets have been shifted from a bearish sentiment to a sideways. How many agree that the markets have shifted from a bearish sentiment to a sideways sentiment? Let me know in the chat box. With the markets overall having bearish sentiment, currently as of now, based on the most recent data, the markets are more or less are on a sideways trajectory, right? With the prices ranging sideways. Yes, the prices have more or less again returned to an important key support area, which is going to be around the 343 price level. We will be monitoring this particular area, and any changes, any updates that would be required to be provided to you, I will make sure to provide it. Correct? Does that sound good? But overall, we do expect, or there is an overall bullish sentiment in the coming days for this particular hot stock. In terms of IP rings, how many of you who are attending this live streaming session, let me ask you, how many of you had taken trades on this particular hot stock that was provided on IP rings on the 12th of November? How many of you have taken trades on this, and how many of you have made profits on this particular hot stock? Let me know in the comment box below. So our trade recommendation that had been provided on 12th of November with parameters of entry between 200 and 205 has been successful in attaining our profit target of 5%, right? Congratulations to everyone on making good profits for this particular trade for those who have taken trades. What about those who have not taken trades on this? I want to know, why are you not taking trades? Why aren't you taking our hot stock recommendations that we are providing to you? It is very important to let everyone know who is attending this live streaming session that our main objective is to provide you with value, right? Value in terms of money making potential strategy. So if we are doing our due diligence, and if we are putting in the hard work of providing you with money making opportunities, what is stopping you from taking trades, right? Think about it. If we are able to consistently show on a real time basis that it is possible to make money, you can also do the same, right? All you have to do is attend all the live stream sessions and take the trades. The moment a hot stock is being recommended by me to you, take action. Take the trades on your trading platform and see the magic unfold in terms of making profits, right? So everyone, congratulations who have taken this particular hot stock recommendation. This sorry, last week itself we had currently achieved a 10% profitability, right? And 10% profitability in a span of 1 week is very good, right? It's very commendable. So we had provided you with a hot stock recommendation on this, and the target has been achieved. Please bear in mind there is another trade recommendation that had been provided on 16th or 16th of October. But for those who had followed our hot stock recommendations and who had entered at the values that we had provided, should be aware that we were already sitting at break even. So for those who have taken trades at entry number 1 and entry number 2, should have already made a little bit of profit, if not much, right? But you would not be losing money. That is my assurance to you. So for those who are taking trades, we will always remind you in terms of, providing you a reminder, whether it is by me or whether it is by my team of assistants. But we will always make sure to let you know that it is time to close a trade. But whether you close the trade or not is entirely up to you. So just follow the steps, just copy paste our entry, target profit, and risk position parameters, and it is clear cut that you should be making money consistently in the Indian share market. Am I right? If I'm right, and if people want to make money, let me know in the chat box that yes, Harsh, you are correct and you are providing us with the right information that can help us in generating profits, right? Doesn't that sound good? We have been showing you day after day, week after week, month after month, that it is possible to make money based on our hot stock recommendations, and we have done quite phenomenally well. If we can do it, so can everyone who do it who is attending our live stream sessions. Does that sound good? Perfect. Now let's get back to the charts and let's see what the other hot stock recommendations are currently doing, right? Now, when it comes to Poonawalla, we had talked about this particular stock that because of a loss that had been informed by the company during the quarterly earning reports, it was a massive loss, and because of that loss, there had been strong correction in the markets but more or less the market started to go sideways, collecting or accumulating orders. But as of now, even that has been taken, sidetracked, and the prices are still or have returned back to the previous sentiment of being bearish. Even though the sentiment, sorry, even though the index is currently outperforming. Let me just show it to you quickly. Even though the Nifty Bank is currently, I hope people can see my screen. Even though the Nifty Bank sector is currently sitting at the 0.77% appreciation in price, the particular stock that I had mentioned about, which was Poonawalla, is still having a backseat, and it is currently into a very strong area of, we call these areas as demand zones, right? So it is not similar to support and resistance, but is more what you call, it is more complex but more structured when it comes to figuring out where the order blocks are, in terms of where the fund managers, the FIIs, where they place their positions. We can identify that based on certain blocks, which are also called as order blocks. If it is a bullish order block, it is called as a demand zone. If it is a bearish order block, it is called as a supply zone, right? So, for those of you who want to learn more about these educational concepts, always make sure to attend my third live streaming session. That is where I provide you with education content, right? Whether it is mindset, whether it is psychology, whether it is technicals, whether it is risk management, or whether it is a trading plan or trading journal. So everything will be encompassed in the third live streaming session, right? So make sure that you're attending those sessions as well. So based on the current demand zone that prices are currently inside, we will be keeping an eye on this, and we do expect, you can see the markets have started to slow down in terms of their aggression towards selling the stock, and this particular area will be of crucial importance before the market decides in terms of providing any hot stock recommendation. Sorry, in terms of providing you any additional entry parameter, I will let you know, right? But for now, there is no current hot stock recommendation that are being provided, but we are observing it, and we are quite optimistic that this particular demand zone, which is going to be around the 310 area, price level area, should be doing its work in terms of holding price, correct? Volume has more or less subdued, right? We had huge amount of buying volume around 28th of October, so the last couple of days of October. But over the last couple of months, September, October, November, the volumes have reduced, have subdued. So keep an eye on this as well. And for those of you, I'm sure since the festive season of Christmas is coming in, as well as the New Year celebrations, please bear in mind the liquidity in the markets is going to shrink, because the majority of the fund managers, investment bankers will be on vacations, right? So either the prices are expected to go sideways, or there can be slight movement in the movement of prices, but on a slight level, right? Since liquidity is drying up, with all the major players, including the FII and the DII, will be taking a small vacation, and that is the time where the liquidity will reduce. How many people are able to understand the concept of why liquidity is diminishing based on the charts, and why it will be diminishing even more in the coming days, at least till the beginning of 2025, right? How many of you are excited for Christmas? Let me know, what are your plans for Christmas? How would you like to celebrate Christmas? What are your intentions for the plans in Christmas? Let me know what your answers are. I'm very well much looking forward to Christmas, spending time with my friends, going for masses and having a great time. So I hope everyone would be celebrating Christmas. I'm wishing you a Merry Christmas well in advance, so that you will remember that yes, Master Harsh was one of the first ones to wish us for Christmas, right? Now, coming on to the next hot stock that we were talking about would be Hind oil. Yes, for this particular hot stock, we have been sharing you and we have shared you with four entry parameters, right? But people have to be aware that trading is based on probabilities, trading is not based on certainties. So, whenever a hot stock is being provided by us, we will make sure to do our due diligence, whether it is in terms of technical analysis, fundamental analysis, sentimental analysis. But there are certain factors which are beyond our control. We are talking about microeconomical analysis, macroeconomical analysis. Now, based for Hind oil, which is basically coming into the Indian oil sector, everyone should be aware that whenever a geopolitical event such as the uncertainty that is currently going across the globe takes place, that is the time when the oil sector, the oil, gas, and energy sector take the biggest hit, correct? Second, but most importantly, you have to understand that there is correction taking place in the international crude oil prices, right? How many of you are aware of what the nifty energy sector is currently having or performing? Let us quickly have a look in terms of the energy sector. Currently we can see the prices have just started to appreciate with a modest 0.41%, right? And in terms of so the energy sector is the current sector that we are trying to get or trying to understand the co-relationship between the oil sector, the energy sector, and the individual stock that is based on Hind oil, right? So currently the energy sector is, as of today, showcasing an appreciation of 0.41%, but that is recently based on the past couple of months, right? I'm talking all the way from August. There has been huge correction taking place. So we talked about geopolitical events. We talked about the correction that is being taking place in the oil sector. Let me just quickly show it to you based on the Nifty Energy Index. So the Nifty Energy Index is still currently being quite bearish, right? Yes, there currently is being an appreciation of 0.41 as of the afternoon, as of today afternoon, but still the markets are more or less still being quite bearish. How many of you agree with me for this particular point? Let me know in the chat box. So the markets have been quite bearish, with the markets taking a huge correction as of the way the overall energy index, the Nifty energy index has been moving. So if the energy itself has been having a bearish sentiment, we are going to be expecting similar reactions on the individual stocks which are pertaining to the oil sector as well. But looking at the current chart of Hindustan Oil Exploration, we are currently seeing that the prices have been shifted from a bearish sentiment to a sideways or neutral sentiment, where more or less the prices are ranging right from the resistance, which is around the 210 price level area, to the support, which is around the 170 price area. So the prices are more or less acting like a ping pong between two blocks, right? Where the ball in between is just oscillating or bouncing from one block to the next. So we will be keeping an eye on this. And we had talked in detail about what are the expectations in the coming days, right? Or maybe in the coming months. We had talked to you from the point of seasonality, where the overall seasonality based on the last couple of years has been showcasing bullish sentiment based on the last couple of weeks of December to the first couple of weeks of Jan. So we still are being optimistic when it comes to being bullish in the coming days, right? Any changes or any add-ons in terms of additional trades or any other instruction that needs to be provided will be provided by Harsh to you, right? Till that time, you just need to have patience. And we are already seeing that the markets are more or less in an accumulation phase, right? The phase that you're currently seeing on the screen, is called as, let me type it out to you. It's called as accumulation phase. Now, what is accumulation phase? Anyone who would want to answer this question? Anyone? All right. So let me tell you what accumulation phase is. Accumulation phase is the phase when the markets are being, see, to put it in simple terms, whenever the markets are being bearish, the prices are being lowered, right? So when the price was eventually at 293 in the month of August, the prices had reduced to 178 by mid of November. So when the prices are correcting, that is called as distribution phase, right? The prices are being distributed because the prices are trending. But the moment the prices start to oscillate sideways, that is when the FIIs, the DIIs, the big banks, institutions, the money makers, the money managers, the market operators, all are starting to endorse positions into the market. That is the reason when the market had been falling, the market has been more or less going in a sideways trajectory, right? This is called as an accumulation phase. And whenever an accumulation phase takes place, it is generally followed by it is generally followed by anyone. It is again followed by a distribution phase. So the phase that will be, being expected to take place in the future will be based on distribution. Whether the markets are being bearish or whether the markets are being bullish, whenever the markets are trending, whether bearish or bullish, those phases are called as distribution phases. Whenever the markets are going sideways, that is when the markets are called to be in a state, or to be called in a phase of accumulation. How many of you are understanding what I am saying? If you're understanding, let me know in the chat box below. And if you're not understanding, let me know that too, so that I can explain it to you in a much simple and easier manner if required. All right. So moving forward, we talked about Hindustan oil exploration, where I would just want to delete the lines. All right. Now moving forward, we would be looking at Gildev Plastic. Now we had made very great profits on Gildev Plastic, but for those who have unfortunately an entry that is being running at the level of 330, please bear in mind that we had provided you with additional entries as well, right? Let me just quickly show it to you. So Gildev Plastic, one second. So Gildev Plastic, one second. Here. So we had provided you with additional entries. Remember, right from 24th of November of October, sorry, to 21st of November, three trades had been provided to you on Gildev, and we have been able to achieve a cumulative profitability of 23%. Correct. So even though people who have taken trades previously should be well aware that if they had added additional trades as per the recommendations that Harsh has shared to you, you would be sitting at net positive, right? So please make sure, don't just take one trade and forget about it. It does not work like that, because the markets are based on probabilities. The markets keep shifting, the markets keep improvising to the conditions based on global factors, macroeconomic, microeconomic factors. So you need to be very aware that even though we had provided you with an entry, there were 3 to 4 trades that had been provided to you, and we were sitting at approximately 23% profitability, right? So this is the power that Harsh is being able to provide. Even when the markets are correcting, we are being able to show you and show you on a real time basis that it is possible to make good money in the markets. How many of you are understanding the power that Harsh is able to provide you based on dolphin markets? If you are able to understand the power of the hot stock recommendations, let me know in the comment box below. So Gildev had been doing quite phenomenally even as of now, where the markets are being reacting. the markets are more or less reacting from a structure which is also called as, anyone who could give me the answer for this particular question? What is the current structure? What is the current structure that you are seeing on your chart? We had seen the prices create a particular chart pattern. Any one of you who are aware what that particular chart pattern looks like, or what is it called? So the pattern is going to be called as, all right, so the pattern is going to be called as an inverted head and shoulder, right? So this is the left shoulder. We got the head in the middle and the right shoulder. So the prices were more or less reacting from the head and shoulder structure, where we have seen significant bounce, right? Based on this particular candle, which had given good amount of price movement, almost a movement of, let me show to you. In terms of movement, the prices had moved by almost 14.7%, right? Very close to 15%. But as of now, the markets have been correcting. For those of you who have taken all our hot stock recommendations based on the market conditions, please be aware that we are already making good amount of profits, right? I hope people are aware. I hope people are paying attention to. And for those who have taken trades on this, how many of you had taken trades on Key Dave Plastic for all the entries that I had mentioned, right? I had given you four entries as I had shown it to you on the screen, and we had been making quite significant profits on all those entries. So if you had this additional entry as well, you could have closed it at net break, at net positive, right? How many of you are understanding what I'm saying? If we are providing you with as and how the markets are correcting, and we are providing you with additional entries, the moment the markets reverse, you do not have to wait for the prices to return back to your first entry. All you have to do is wait for the prices to return back to the average price, correct? How many of you are understanding? We want the prices, we want the market to return back to the average price, and that is where we can start making money. So this is the main power that Harsh at Dolphin Markets is being provided to you. Not every time we would be needing to add additional positions. It is only and only if required. Otherwise, we have been consistently providing you with great amount of trades that have been able to be taken and that have been closed within a couple of days, or max to max within a week or two. And we have been showing it to you on a real-time basis that it is possible to make great returns, right? So how many of you are understanding the power of these live streaming sessions, right? If yes, let me know in the chat box below. We looked at RBL Bank as well. Now, with the overall indices being bullish, the RBL Bank that had been provided, remember, even on RBL Bank, we had done quite phenomenally well, right? Let me show it to you as well on RBL Bank, right? RBL Bank had been provided to you. One second, let me just make sure I can search. RBL Bank. So RBL Bank had also been provided, and we had given you additional entries for that as well. In terms of RBL Bank, the prices had returned to the area where we had expected to. We had informed those people that the area of resistance around the level of 178 had been approached by prices, which comes into a strong area of resistance. So for those who had taken trades, we had provided you around a trade recommendation around 160, right? So people who had taken the trades, the average price had already been achieved. Let me just draw it to you in terms of the marking. The average price had been around the 178, 180 area, and the average price had been achieved. So please bear in mind, whenever we are providing you with trades, and if the markets are correcting and we are giving you additional trades, we are also letting you know that the average price is being reduced. So the markets had achieved the average price. For those people who had taken trades on entry number one and entry number two, could have entered or could have exited the trades based on break even, correct? For those who had just taken the trades based on entry number two, have been doing quite phenomenally well because they were able to achieve an easy and a modest target of 5%, right? How many of you who had taken trade on RBL Bank had made profits of 5%? If yes, let me know in the chat box. So I hope everyone is understanding that even though some of the trades that we are providing are more or less going against us, you do not have to worry because eventually we want everyone to be making money. We are focusing on being net positive. So let me ask a question. Do you want to be right in the financial markets or do you want to make money in the financial markets? Let me know in the chat box what do you think? What are your answers going to be? Of course, it's about making money. Now, even when the markets are going against us, so technically the markets are, we are wrong for the markets, right? So it's not about the matter of being right or wrong. It is the matter of making money. So even though we are able to provide you with additional entries, and once the market corrects, we are making good amount of money, correct? So if you are being able to make good amount of money, that should be your prime focus, right? Let the markets do what they have to do. And we have been a living testament based on our financial record keeping, right? Our financial sheet that has been showcasing even with the overall indices based in the last couple of months have been on a bearish trajectory. We have still been able to outperform the index with a whooping 237% net profitability, right? So I hope everyone understands the power, and I'm pretty sure every one of you, how many of you would want to be a part of dolphin markets, who would want to make similar returns, let me know in the chat box. I'm sure everyone will be having the same outlook. Yes, Harsh, at the end, we want to make money in the markets, and we are sure that dolphin markets can be providing us with the required resources to make money. Correct? We are showing it to you anyways on a real time basis, and we will be showing it to you moving forward as well. So, quick recap in terms of what the overall index sentiment has been in the market. Yes, the overall sentiment in the market has been bullish as of today, with all the indices being in the green sector or being in the bullish phase, bullish sentiment as of now. But when it comes to the market sentiment, the indices are performing well today, but the market sentiment has still been bearish because of the FIIs, which are still pulling out funds from the economy, right? The last couple of days, based on the last week, have still been showing an outflow of capital, of FII capital out from the Indian economy. And even though there has been bullish sentiment in the markets are more or less sideways, correct? So you have to understand. We even looked at how the other hot stocks have been performing, whether it is KRITI, whether it is IP rings. For those of you who had taken trades on IP rings and on Hindware, these were the two hot stocks that have been shared that had achieved a profit target of 5% each, right? Accumulating to 10% profitability. So I would want to congratulate, and I'm very happy for those who have been able to achieve the 10% profitability based on last week's hot stock recommendations. We have looked at all the other watch list in terms of our hot stock recommendations. With the overall sentiment of the markets being bullish as of today, we expect that to trickle onto the individual stocks as well. So when it comes to hot stocks as Poonawalla, or whether it is RBL, or whether it is Muthoot, because the banking sector has been outperforming as of today. So we would be expecting the markets to have similar reactions on these individual stocks as well. When it comes to the Nifty, please bear in mind that overall sentiment is still being more or less bullish for today, but overall sentiment has been bearish with the 200 daily moving simple moving average. The prices have closed below the moving average. For big banks and institutions, they use this as a reference for prices being undervalued or having bearish sentiment. So I hope everyone had a great learning session today. Unfortunately, no hot stocks were shared, but moving forward, my colleague will be taking the next live stream session where he would be talking more about fundamental analysis, right? So stay tuned for the live streaming session and make sure to attend my third live streaming session where I would be focusing more on education content, right? So I hope everyone has a great afternoon and I'll see you later. Until then, namaste and take care. Bye bye.